and work our way back down the mountain. Go this way. I think I went this way. Hopefully we will not run into the enemy yet. That is going to be a big problem. So we will continue to use hammer power on you from roughly behind. Kill you off. There are a lot more enemy groups around here. It just happens to be giving us the same ones over and over and over. Which I'm not complaining too much about because, hey, we can handle these. To an extent. And gaining another level is good, especially when it comes with a new ability, like Sword Wind. The main problem with this mountain is that you can go down many, many wrong turns here and end up walking a lot more steps than you really should. And a level 4 Straybow, which gives Red Cage. Again, not an unwelcome thing. But now that we've done that, we heard stories. I believe it's not all that good, but it does attack at some distance. Yeah, it'll one-shot them, but a lot of things will one-shot those. So we heard about some woman in the village. Sisters live in a nearby village. Where it says west is Familia Village and east is Forbidden Land. Let's go to Familia Village. Luckily, it's literally right here. And Familia Village is all of about 2 houses. I don't think that qualifies as a village. I don't think it qualified in SimCity as a village anyway. And the kid, upon seeing Oersted, freaks out. And he tells us the herbs growing outside work wonders for injuries. And we learned that her son is just a huge fan of Oersted. I don't think there's anything in here we can take. Because this would be one of the few places we could actually take anything from. Yeah, the village looks familiar, doesn't it? And for once, we can actually check stuff on the ground. And get ourselves some more healing items. Because we are about the point where we would actually use them. And we see a dude sitting here in kind of monk robes. Unfortunately, all he wants to do is talk about the warmth of the stove. Fan clubs in the 14th century. Yep. And now we comment that the shield on this dude's wall looks familiar to the shield in that one shack. Which gets dude in monk's robes all excited here. What? How do you know of the shield? So we have a cutscene. Where this dude learns the demon has come back. And we get confirmation that Hash was indeed the one that killed the demon originally. And Hash, once the demon was destroyed, the kingdom kind of cast him aside. Hey, Lady Mage. I'll give you a rundown of what happened. The knight, Oersted, is the dude with the blonde hair, kind of in the middle of the three here. If we've checked this place first, we won't recognize the shield and won't launch the cutscene. That's the thing. We have to see the shield on the mountain first, before we can realize that that shield looks familiar and get the cutscene. Oersted's in the middle. Strabo is the gray-haired dude in the cape on the right, and the monk here hasn't been given a name yet. But the chapter opens up with Oersted eventually defeating Strabo in a tournament, to which the winner was promised the princess's hand in marriage. They had a feast. After the feast, Oersted and the princess were up alone on the castle balcony talking. A couple of demons came down. Oersted beat one, but couldn't beat the other. It carried the princess back off towards a mountain in the distance. We left the castle with hearing about the great hero that destroyed the demon in the past. And now we're kind of looking around for him. We found someone we think is the hero because of what the townsfolk has told us, but he said literally nothing to us except a bunch of ellipses. So we went to another dude who has an exact same copy of the shield that the guy we were talking to earlier has. And this launches a cutscene where we hear that Hash did indeed defeat the demon and then was thrown away by society, basically, because there wasn't any really use for a hero at the time. And we learned that Hash kind of went to be a hermit. And so did this guy. Yeah, fame corrupts the souls of all but the strongest wills. And he means tiny. You saw the village, it's two places, it's two houses. And this guy just says, yes, I am the monk that fought beside Hash all those years ago. His name is Uranus. It's like, you know, it'd be nice to save the princess, but how about we save Hash from himself, too, while we're at it? So he joins the party. So now we have the legendary monk Uranus on our team, who basically gives us the shield hanging on his wall, which... you don't need that. You need that. You also need the shield. Also, how about you sitting back, Strabo? So anyway, now with Uranus in tow, we could potentially talk to these people again, but they're not going to do much. And yeah, Oersted has a fan club because he won the tournament and is going to be the new king eventually. But that kind of gets you caught up on the last 40 minutes or so. Yeah, we don't get that, sadly. Yeah, the monk is kind of the closest thing we're going to get to a white mage. He actually does healing. He also has a rather funny attack he does, which hits literally everything on the game board. So, same enemies we've been fighting this whole time, but now we have a monk. So I'm going to go ahead and pass, just so we can see. First, he has God's Blessing, which heals everyone in that radius. He has God's Protection, which is a counter. If he gets hit, he'll fire that off. A Prayer of Healing, which he can use to heal anyone at range, which is... Let's just say that this is a rare freaking ability, and you've had a day, huh? Maybe you'll feel better. But anyway, yeah, he can do this Prayer of Healing, and it has an effect we have not seen yet. He can reverse stone with it. If someone gets stoned in this party, he can revive the stone with this Prayer of Healing. So yeah, you may have noticed we haven't had somebody that could launch a heal out for different at range. But we do have one. And we also have Voice of God. So let's do that, and you notice it hits the entire freaking field. Where he screams and they die. Yeah, he screams and they die. That's what happens with Voice of God. I like the monk. So again, we need to work our way up this mountain. It doesn't do enough damage to kill tougher monsters, but boy, weak ones like this, oh yeah, he just kind of rocks them. And just in case you didn't see it, Oersted is still level 4, Strabo's at level 4, and he starts out at level 6. So he gets a little bit of a boost on us. So yeah, we trek up this mountain all over again. If I can trek up the right directions here. So he is a bit OP for this section. But now with this guy in tow, as pretty much everyone realized, this little hermit dude with the beard and the bandana is indeed the hero that slew the demon all those years ago. And Hash cares nothing for people, because he was thrown away after he beat the demon the first time. And Hash isn't even talking to his old friend. So Uranus decides he's had enough of Hash's weakness here. And tells us to leave. We can try talking to him, but he will just give us ellipses again. However, if we actually do try to leave, Hash gets up. Puts on his gear. And says, I'm not doing this for people or any crap like that. I'm just proving I'm not a coward, basically. And now Hash joins us. Because then he wants us to visit the summit first. And of course we can get a new shield. Which we don't want to put on Hash. Because Hash needs all the speed he can get for what he's got to do here. And we can't put it on Strabo. And let's put Hash and Oersted in front. Oh yeah. And now we will take off your stuff because you don't need it. You're level 10 compared to our not so high levels. So we will give you his equipment. Okay, basically the same stuff we've been fighting this whole time. Because we still don't want that thing to get a turn, because it is probably the most dangerous foe on this field. And yeah, God's protection is pretty good apparently. But this guy has some pretty decent stuff. He has the cut one way, the V-Shine, the Razor, the Hammer Power. But he also has Razor Sonic, a Dragon Sword, Spindle, and a Death Trail. Death Trail being, severely tough. So let's see if we can show it off here. Yeah, Hash has the moves, so to speak. Slam for about 924 damage, but it does take him down a level when he uses it. Ooh, and we got an Ice Helm. The cool bulb things do drop helmets. And one of the things you will want to grind for, if you actually do want to grind for these things, is to get a full set of Ice Helms for everybody, because they're extra defense, and that is pretty freaking nice, really, gotta say. So now we're going to get another cutscene. Devil's Peak. So Hash put up a fake gravestone of himself there. And buried his sword in there. Which is a good sword. So instead of the Axion sword, we're going to put the Bree on here. And that reminds me, I need to actually... You don't need it. You, on the other hand, can use it. We can put the Defender on you. Give you a bunch of things to hold on to. Gee, I don't know, man. Demons at Demon's Peak? I don't know, man. Now that we have gotten him his good sword, it would help if I went down the right path. That would help. Aw, not the fight I wanted. There is one fight here that I want to get into, because it's a fight that if you run into it earlier on when you're still level 3, you can only run from it and hope that you can get away type thing. Razor Sonic, just to show off something different. Prayer of Healing. Just to show off something different. Let's actually use Red Cage since we haven't seen it yet. And Oersted is now level 5 and gained in Cage and found another Ice Helm. Okay, which way was out of here? I want to show some of these off. So yeah, you notice that not much down this mountain is actually going to be a threat. There is one monster that could put a serious dent on our hit point reserves, but it doesn't seem to want to come out today. If we actually make it down this path without actually running into it. Which is entirely possible, given the nature that we are actually getting randomly generated battles. No, just this again, huh? This. Have the monk scream at you a whole lot. Straybow gains Purple Mist, which is a poison attack. And since we made it off the mountain, just to let you know, there is a fight with a massive freaking bear, which I am sad to report we did not get into. That if you fight it too early on, it is pretty much too strong for you. Because it does about 200 points a hit, and it moves kind of quick. I think we'll run into it later, but it's just kind of funny that one of these starter zones can actually do that to you. See if I can pick my way through the forest here. Yes, I can. Okay, so ahead is the Forbidden Land. That is our ultimate goal. Let's see if I can find the path I'm looking for. Now you've noticed that I have done a lot of passing up of any opportunity to grab things whatsoever, and there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. This way. Well, there is one area, and there are only two areas in this entire start where you can grab anything and not suffer for it later. The first are the bushes near the house. And the second is right down this little hidden path here. To where we have all these sitting there. You may wonder why this is a hidden-ish area, just because it gives you 10 healing items. And that's because if you leave, and then come back, they respawn. So you can come in here 10 times, and get yourself a full stack of these little mid-self-heal healing items. So now, before we advance, the thing you want to do is first get yourself, 99 of those. And the second is grind yourself up to about level 16. Yes, you want everyone around level 16 for this next part, because the next area is not kidding around and it will laugh at you. Okay, not the next area, but the boss waiting for you. So, luckily for everyone else, I already did that.